Alright guys, so we're back in the studio really quick and I'm going to show you guys a more in-depth look at the internals of this gun and how the two different gas systems work. So out of the box, it's going to come with an 80 round mid-cap magazine. And now the way this magazine works is that it's going to hold those 80 BBs along with the CO2 cartridge if you choose to use that as the source of power. The hole in the back over here is going to be for that 12 gram CO2 cartridge, which is very inexpensive and easy to find. What I like about the design of the magazine is that it's really easy to install and take out the CO2 cartridges. There's this button here on the left side of the magazine. When you press that button, it allows that CO2 cartridge to slide in, and also when it's empty, you press the button and it's gonna dump out. Right now, because I'm not pressing the button, that CO2 cartridge is gonna stay in there. With the CO2 cartridge, you're gonna be able to shoot all 80 rounds that's loaded into the magazine before the CO2 cartridge runs out. Now, once you have the magazine loaded with the CO2 cartridge and the BBs, you're going to load it into the magazine well. And if you guys can see in here, you also have a valve that's going to connect with that CO2 cartridge and pierce it, allowing that gas to flow into the gun. Once you have the magazine, load it into the gun and give it a quick tap like so, and that's going to feed that CO2 gas into the gun, powering it for the shots. Now, one of the many downsides about this system is that if you wanted to check the BBs in the magazine, that's something that you generally may not want to do, because once you release the magazine out, it's going to release all the gas. That's really not too much of a problem though, because generally speaking, you're going to be able to shoot all 80 of those BBs, and at the same time you run out of BBs, you're also going to run out of gas that is in that CO2 cartridge. So essentially, it's going to be one cartridge per magazine. Okay, so that's the first way you can run this Tippmann M4, but if you're like me, I would personally choose to go with an HPA setup instead, because it's going to be a little bit more consistent, but you do have to use a line and carry a tank on your back. So I'm going to explain how that works and also show you guys how to transform the gun to that system instead. So to convert it to the HPA setup, first of all, make sure the gun is safe and clear. Always wear iPro for protection. The nice thing as well is that this gun is going to open up like a real AR. So it's going to hinge open like that, and I'm going to give you guys a close look at the internals here. So what we're going to be doing now is removing that valve that connects to the CO2 cartridge, and we're going to flipping that to go to the HPA line instead. So I'm going to take my Allen key, and there is a set screw on the side. And once that is removed, that entire valve assembly is going to come out. Now that we have that CO2 valve out, we're going to be replacing it with another valve that's designed for the HPA setup, and that is also going to free up the magazine well for any of your normal AEG high caps or mid caps. So we're going to replace that part. There are a few small pieces that need to be aligned correctly, but for that, resort to your owner's manual, and it's very simple. I figured it out in about 5 to 10 minutes. Replace those parts and then close the gun up. And then we'll have one more step and we'll be good to go. Don't forget to reinstall the screw that holds that valve in place. And now what we're going to be doing next is setting up the pistol grip for an HPA line. So right now we have this set screw at the bottom that just blocks the air from coming out. We're going to take that out and we're going to add the line or the nozzle for the HPA setup. And that's about it. As you guys can see, it's a pretty quick conversion from one setup to another, which is very nice and takes minimal tools or time. And we'll test it out right now with our HPA tank. We're going to open up this valve, and then we should be good to go. Also, if you guys didn't notice, once again, there is no regulator on this line. It's just going straight to the gun. Sweet. All right, so the last thing I'm going to show you guys about the internals of this gun is the adjustment for the FPS or the rate of fire. It's pretty simple because once again, this gun hinges and opens up just like the real ARs. This screw right here is going to be your adjustment for your rate of fire. The screw over here is going to be your adjustment for the FPS. So once again, you can change the FPS from anywhere to 270 to 400 and as high as 20 BBs a second with these adjustments. Alright guys, this has been a closer look at the upcoming Tippmann M4. This is slated to come out in the next 3 months or so, so stay tuned to our website at airsoftgi.com. Once again guys, my name is Daniel, this is GI TV, and thanks for watching.